Greetings, my fellow Gevonians. In this video, I'm going back to some old school LinkedIn digging, and I will uncover some pretty interesting findings, which have led me to believe Gevo is actively working to expand its business abroad. And the trail leads me to Brazil and India. But first, I want to kick off by highlighting some really exciting news. Biofuel Digest has ranked Gevo as the hottest company in the bioeconomy, placing them as number 1 out of 500 companies. A major recognition. Gevo received this award at the Advanced Bioeconomy Leadership Conference NEXT in San Francisco, held at the end of October. At the same ABLC event, Gevo's founder and CEO, Pat Gruber, was also honored with the prestigious Bill Holmberg Lifetime Achievement Award for his outstanding contributions to the industry and unwavering commitment to innovation and excellence. So Gevo is truly elevating its reputation.
A great success!
Come on, pal. Tell me something I don't know. Surprise me.
Now, let's take a closer look at my intriguing findings and explore their possible meaning. To put my findings in the right context, Brazil's president has recently approved the Fuel of the Future law, boosting ethanol and biodiesel use in fuels, establishing carbon capture regulations, and promoting investments in sustainable aviation fuel and renewable energy. I found this post by the Renewable Fuels Association about the Clean Energy Ministerial meeting that took place in Brazil in mid-September. The CEM meeting is a high-level forum to promote policies and programs that advance clean energy technology, sharing lessons and best practices within that space. The post mentions Gevo's attendance at the summit, alongside LanzaJet. And if you click on this attached image and zoom in, you see Gevo's CEO, Patrick Gruber, is one of the main speakers. And the woman seated behind him appears to be Lindsay Fitzgerald, Gevo's Vice President of Government Relations. And this gentleman sitting over here looks a lot like Damien Perman, Gevo's Chief Business Development Officer, though I'm not 100% certain. And I also came across this post by Molecule Group, another participant in the CEM event in Brazil, which gathered over 50 leaders from both public and private sectors. Gevo was tagged first in this post, together with Patrick Gruber and Lindsay Fitzgerald, which confirms her presence at the event. Other attendees worth noting is Pry Industries, United Airlines, Sky Energy, LanzaJet, as previously mentioned, Shell, and Airbus. The post emphasizes 2 goals of the forum. 1. Developing and supporting intergovernmental targets for sustainable molecules for COP30. 2. Advocating for standardized policy frameworks affecting these technologies and their end users. This post also had a picture from that same meeting room attached to it. And if you zoom in and look closer, this gentleman sitting here bears a striking resemblance to Paul Bloom, another senior executive at Gevo. It's likely no coincidence that both Damien Perman and Paul Bloom have liked this post, and Lindsay Fitzgerald.
So what does it mean?
What's your point exactly?
If Gevo has 4 of their C-suite executives attending this meeting in Brazil, it must be quite important to them, and they likely have a strategic agenda. In September this year, the National Bank of Economic and Social Development approved the equivalent of $86 million in financing for FS to help expand its production capacity as part of its strategic growth plan. In addition to producing ethanol from corn, FS uses advanced technology to create high nutritional animal feed, corn oil, and bioelectricity from biomass, supporting Brazil's energy transition and sustainable agricultural practices.
And don't that sound familiar?
If we go back to this post again, we find FS tagged in it, along with Daniel Lopez. He's the Executive Vice President for Utilities and Business Development at FS, and he's connected with Paul Bloom. Who's Paul Bloom now again? He's the Chief Carbon Officer and Chief Innovation Officer at Gevo, as well as head of Gevo's subsidiary Verity Tracking. Rafael Abud, the CEO at FS, is also connected to Paul Bloom. Earlier this year, FS became the first Brazilian corn ethanol industry to receive the ISCC International certification to produce SAF from ethanol and corn oil. FS has also announced that they're developing a bioenergy and carbon capture and storage facility project at its ethanol plant in Luca de Rio Verde. And Daniel Lopez is quoted, saying the project is in the final stages of technical studies to make it geologically viable. And this move positions FS to deliver what it claims to be the world's first negative carbon emission ethanol. But in order to prove their fuel has a negative CI score, they will need access to a carbon accounting and tracking software. And that's where Paul Blue and Verde Tracking fits in.
Now we're getting somewhere.
And to further set the scene, according to a recent article, oil companies are increasingly viewing Brazil as a strategic center for SAF development due to its abundant resources and favorable policies. This interest underscores the momentum building around Brazil's biofuel industry. Also noteworthy in this context, Brazil chases corn ethanol output growth. Brazil has traditionally used sugarcane for ethanol, but corn-based biofuel is set to grow in production as investor interest rises. And the DOE is also involved, as the United States and Brazil recently announced plans to enhance clean energy cooperation. And now, here's my speculative conclusion based on these facts. It seems likely that Gevo is laying the groundwork for a strategic expansion into Brazil's growing biofuel market. The presence of key C-suite executives and the established ties with FS suggest a potential collaboration or partnership that could position Gevo to capitalize on Brazil's ethanol boom and carbon reduction initiatives. While nothing is confirmed yet, these clues hint at exciting opportunities ahead for Gevo. Now, let's move on to the next trail that leads us to India. And this naturally brings to mind Pride. The collaboration between Gevo and Pride has been in the spotlight for quite some time, and even a simple Google search yields multiple hits. As far back as 2020, the partners signed a binding agreements to jointly commercialize SAF in India. Although the ink is long since dried, we haven't received any updates on the progress of construction. But now it seems something is happening. I came across this post revealing that Gevo has hired a new lead engineer based in India. I emailed him to ask if he would be relocating to the US or working from India, and he replied that he would be working remotely, i.e. from India. He started this position just a month ago, and he has written a detailed job description outlining the primary areas of his new role. And judging by the terminology, it appears that something is already under construction, built with modular units that will be shipped. We already know the Gevo's technology partner Axens and Pry are planning to construct a plant together, with Pry contributing their proven expertise in modularized solutions, and Axens providing the Jetanol ATJ technology for SAF conversion. But Karan Kumar Vankavala isn't the only new Gevo hire in India. I also found another individual who has just updated his LinkedIn profile with his new role as lead piping engineer at Gevo. This undeniably confirms that Gevo is actively preparing to build a new plant in India, and it's highly likely related to the project involving Axens and Pry. We can therefore expect updates on the construction process in the very near future. Before wrapping up this video, I also want to show you this post, which further indicates that Brazil and India are set to become key markets for biofuel in the future, and that the countries will work closely together. So it's no coincidence that Gevo, the hottest company in the bioeconomy, is positioning itself in these two strategic locations. So what do you think of all of this? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and please hit the like button and subscribe if you're hungry for more videos. I hope you enjoyed my old school LinkedIn/Google digging approach to due diligence, and that you found this information useful. And as always, I create these videos to inform and entertain.
Are you not entertained?
And you shall by no means consider my content as financial advice.
Stay here. I'll be back.
But until next time, bye bye.